Hello everyone, just a quick impromptu video today. So because there's a big new release coming out in the designer fragrance world for men, I thought it was worth doing a preview video on this one. Don't do it very often. I think I did one for Creed Viking, and maybe when I was excited about Valentino at Walmart Intense I did a preview video. Today a really, no jokes or anything like that in this one, hardly any editing, just wanted to talk about this one. So if you are interested in fragrances, you may well have heard that soon we are going to be getting a new flanker or sequel to Dior's Sauvage. So one of the big hit fragrances in the designer world from 2015, a really popular fragrance amongst the general public, a big seller I think, and one that a lot of the normal people really like. It divides people who are really into fragrances a little bit. Some people find it generic and not as exciting as some previous Dior releases, which have in many cases been a little bit innovative and unique. Some people felt this one wasn't. I think it's a very decent, good fragrance, but it's not one of my big favourites. I gave it a 7 out of 10 in a review, and I kind of stick with that. It's good, it smells nice, people will like the way this smells. It's a masculine, crisp, fresh-smelling fragrance. Main things you get from this one is bergamot, lavender, a kind of soapy fresh overall accord, and of course in the base ambroxan is the big note of a sort of modern fresh smelling note that a lot of popular fragrances use these days. So very influential fragrances, lots of other houses have copied it. We had one flanker or sort of flanker last year, which was the very cool spray of this, an eau de toilette as is the original, and that was very similar smelling. They said they put an extra note of grapefruit to make it a bit more fresh. Very hard to tell the difference between the two, but it was a sort of flanker. But now we're going to have a real flanker worthy of the name, and it is of course going to be Dior Sauvage Eau De Parfum. So we've got some advertising images already, and it's a clue about the notes, or more than a clue because the Fragrantica has put it on their site. We've got a note listing. So the fragrance is going to be characterised as an oriental fougere. The perfumier is Francois Demachy, the main man at Dior, who also did the original here. And it is going to have a top note of bergamot. Then in the mid we're going to have lavender, Szechuan pepper, star anise, nutmeg, and in the base ambroxan again and vanilla. So in the original, the notes of bergamot, lavender and ambroxan were in there with a few other things. I think there's geranium in the original, doesn't seem to be listed here. The new one then, with the addition of the nutmeg, the star anise and the vanilla, those are all sweet notes. So clearly, as we often get with a eau de parfum, it's going to be a little bit maybe richer, more nighttime appropriate, as sweeter things maybe are for men. And it's going to be more of a sweet oriental fragrance. The original was just a fougere, this one's an oriental fougere. Apart from that, we can only speculate how it's going to smell. That's why it's a preview. What do people feel about this one? How excited are you? I want to know from fragrance fans. Do I need to rush out and buy the bottle the day it comes out and give you a review, or at least get a sample? Are we interested? Are we not interested? Do we think Dior Sauvage is a fragrance where an eau de parfum flanker could be really good? I think potentially, actually, it could be really good. It might be better and more exciting than the original. Those notes are, star anise, pepper, I like those kind of nutmeg, things like that. There's a lot of old fragrances that have a bit of those in them, like Opium Pour Homme has star anise in it. I like those kind of notes often in fragrances. And of course, Dior has a great history when they do a flanker, particularly an eau de parfum one for a men's fragrance, they can be really good. So the original Dior Sauvage from 1966, a classic citrus aromatic, has numerous good flankers, like the Cologne version. There's an extreme version. There's some really good flankers to that one. And of course, they brought out in the 21st century, we had Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum. This is not to be confused with Sauvage, Eau Sauvage, Sauvage, different thing. Eau Sauvage Parfum from 2012. Brilliant flanker to this one, which added in myrrh and a bit more depth and richness to the note. So in that one, a really heavy kind of vetiver element, and this almost incensey myrrh note was added, giving us a brilliant flanker. And they re-released it and reformulated it recently. Another good flanker to that one. So they've done well when they do eau de parfums traditionally, I think. Also Fahrenheit, of course, were a great fragrance from 1988, and the Parfum flanker from the 21st century is really nice too. Again, sweetens up the original a bit. And likewise, of course, the Dior Homme line, one of their main lines, really their main line before Sauvage came out, had some great flankers to that one. The original fragrance, really good with iris, and the Dior Homme Intense flanker was lovely, as is the Dior Homme Parfum, both eau de parfums, I think. Or is the Parfum more like an extract de parfum? I don't know. Anyway, when it's got the word parfum in it and it's a flanker for a men's fragrance from Dior, it's usually really good. But this one, many of us feel a bit generic and not that exciting if we're massive fragrance fans. So will it be as good as the other flankers? Please speculate and comment in the comments below. See you in the next video. Whatever we're doing in life, remember, let's project. Bye bye.